Which other pop culture animals would you like to see maybe how they respond to cocaine?
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
And I love that we finally have a film that answers the age-old question of what would happen if a bear got high on coke. Thinking about all of your other favorite animals in pop culture, the shark from Jaws, Bambi, Old Yeller, which other pop culture animals would you like to see maybe how they respond to cocaine?
Oh, geez. Lyle Crocodile. I mean, that guy he would be really fun. Paddington Bear. Let's see, Paddington Bear. I feel like if Paddington Bear got stuck on the train platform without his family, we could have a lot more fun with that idea.
What was the old WB? Was it a frog that did tap dancing?
Like the guy with the top hat and the cane?
Top hat? Yeah, I think that guy. What was that guy's name? Are we not supposed to talk about WB?
Frog. Yeah, right. Different studio.
Ewoks included.
Someone get George Lucas on the phone because like Ewoks with just like a little like white around their cute little nose.
Just dancing and going crazy.
Either E.T. or the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. See how I brought Universal in?
Please, like whenever you're making that pitch to Spielberg, let me be in the room. Like just like on a chalkboard, you're like, it's Jurassic Park, but with cocaine.
They never did an E.T. sequel, so
honestly, as wild and funny and crazy as this movie is, whenever I read the real life story, honestly, like, this sounds stupid, but like it did kind of break my heart that the bear died. Like I'm an animal lover, so like that sucked. Am I crazy that as much as I laughed and enjoyed this movie, that like there is this movie is sort of a variation of what happened in real life, but like I still do feel bad.
I felt terrible about it. That's partly what made me want to make the film. I felt like this could be the revenge story for that poor bear that got, caught up in this drug run gone bad and lost its life. And I just felt like we needed to redeem that bear, This was the way to do it.
You should feel bad. Obviously, we should feel bad, but I think that was Banks's point. Like, she lets the bear get a revenge. I mean, the people don't fare too well in this one. So I think that was Liz's point. Like, you know what I mean? The bear ate everyone.
That's part of it, for sure. It's not the bear's fault.
Definitely not.
The bear's gonna eat what the bear's gonna eat.
Right. Addiction is a disease.
That's
so
right.
It's but I mean, when you eat over 70 pounds of cocaine, time's a ticking. You're on borrowed time. I'm sorry to tell you.
One of my favorite TV shows in the history of television is a show that was on a few years back called The Americans. And I think as many fans, we would love to see the cast back together in some form or fashion. Is this the closest we're ever going to get to an Americans reunion?
Never say never. Listen, I go out to dinner with Margot and we have our martinis together all the time. So no, this could happen. Banks called me and said, "You want to read this crazy movie I'm directing?" And then Margot texted me and said, "Are you doing this movie?" And I was like, "Are you doing this movie? What?" And so I was like, "Now I'm definitely doing this movie." But it helped me to know that Banks was getting people like Margot, because then I was like, oh, I know exactly what you're doing now. Like now I know the tone. And Margot and Jesse and I were just like laughing our heads off in that forest. It was so stupid and so silly, and it was just crazy.
Tell me you don't want an entire spin-off movie of Matthew Rhys as the guy like that. Like I want a whole movie of that guy.
To that music and karate chops and shades on at night. Mm-hmm. Inside the plane.
It's gold. It's absolute gold. I will say that this movie sort of reignited one of the biggest debates I often have with my movie nerd friends, which is, who is the real villain in Jaws? Is it the shark or is it the mayor that keeps the beaches open? So I'm going to ask you. Right. So in Cocaine Bear, who is the villain of this film? Is it the drug runner and the drug lords and Ray Liotta who sort of put the cocaine there, or is it the bear?
It's definitely not O'Shea Jackson Jr., I'll tell you that.
No, it's definitely the drug runners. The humans the hubris of the humans is what kills the humans in this movie, right? It's like, it's their idea. The big idea here is like, we think we can control nature, but we keep pumping all this crap into it, and then we expect that nature's not going to fight back. We crazy. We're going to lose. Nature's going to win every time. We've got to get this under control.
I guess it's a mixture. The bear is just wrong place, wrong time. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're classified as the criminals, but we got good hearts.
No, yeah, we're not the bad. It's the drug runner. It's Ray.
Yeah, it's Ray.
It's Ray and the drug ring, which was a real thing. These guys were doing drug rings.
Yeah.
Drug rings are real.
That's true.
Okay, so I am going to then ask you, where do you fall on the Jaws debate? Because I still think it's the shark.
Oh, I know. I definitely don't think it's the shark. I mean,
Okay.
I think the shark's just doing shark stuff.
You
Sharks
and I
just
can do
being
a whole
sharks.
half hour on Jaws, because my argument is that that's not what sharks normally do. You and I have got to sit down and have over a drink and have a Jaws debate. Like, we could go for hours. I do want to. You guys mentioned Ray. I want to talk about the late great Ray Liotta. The past few performances we've seen of him since he passed were just so fan. This and Blackbird. I had the pleasure of interviewing him not too long before he passed, which is huge. About Field of Dreams, which was a huge honor for me. I was just wondering what your favorite memory of him on set was. Maybe a moment that you guys shared.
Oh, my favorite moment would actually be off the set. I was, we all stayed in this little town called Dalkey, just south of Dublin, Ireland, where we shot the film. And the town was so quaint and beautiful. And I was in a shop, and I looked out the window, and I saw Ray walking with a little doggy bag, arm in arm, with his fiancée, JC. They were laughing, smiling. They'd clearly just come from a great dinner. And that's how I remember Ray. I think about Ray arm in arm with a woman he loved, having the time of his life. That's the memory in my mind's eye.
You mentioned Field of Dreams. Phil Alden Robinson directed Field of Dreams. My mom was pregnant. They saw the movie, and that's why I'm named Alden. And so one of my favorite memories was telling him that, and because he got such a huge kick out of it. And I grew up in the same neighborhood as him, and I would see him. One time I walked into a coffee shop that I had seen him in, and I turned to my friend and I was like, last time I was here I saw Ray Liotta, and then I turned and Ray Liotta was standing next to me. It was sort of like,
that's hard.
But yeah, he was obviously such a great actor and so wonderful to work with, and had such a great time with this movie, and it was just a treat.
He's such an icon, and he's such those movies are just amazing, that we all kind of grew up watching. But he was just so cool. He was just like a total cool guy, in the makeup trailer, listening to music, getting ready, kind to everyone, and just a pro, even in this ridiculous world that we were doing, he still just goes for it and was just there getting ready and putting on our stupid 80s things. And he just was a good guy, a good, when the actors who are really good, there's not a lot of fuss with them. They're just, this is what they do, and they're great.
I would say talking trash in a makeup trailer. Ray Liotta, as you could probably guess, was a Class A trash talker, and I love going back and forth with people, and making them laugh, cracking jokes with him. It's something I wish I could have did a little bit more at an after party somewhere, but we're putting this movie out as an ode to Ray Liotta. May he rest in peace. Do you have a favorite line, a trash talk line from Ray Liotta that you remember? Let me tell you, man, I cannot be giving out this. Dude, it's the Junkie for Cocaine Bear. Now's the time. It's pretty R-rated, man. I can't let the man not defend himself. You gotta understand.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.